Be informed. Be guided. Be inspired. As Hector Macalalag Leadership Channel proudly presents review sessions for Principals Swain and DMT.
Isang mapagpalang araw sa inyong lahat. Kumusta po kayo? Medyo matagal po akong hindi nakapag-upload ng video about National Qualifying Examination for School Heads Review or otherwise known as the Principal's Test 2021. Excited na ba kayo sa darating na pagsusulit ng Principal's Test? I hope so. Pero yung memorandum nila na hanggang second quarter mag-a-announce na sila ng schedule ng Principal's Test. Nasa third quarter na po tayo. Mukhang wala pang announcement. Kaya take this as a blessing so that you can still review. Ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon ay ang Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. Ito po ang inyong lingkod, Hector de Macalalag. Okay. Pursuant to the provisions of Paragraph E, Article 11 of Republic Act Number 7836, otherwise known as the Philippine Professionalization Act of 1994 and Paragraph A, Section 6 of Presidential Decree Number 223 as amended, the Board of Professional Teachers hereby adopt the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. Yan po ang ating mga legal basis kung bakit nagkaroon tayo ng Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. Preamble. Teachers are duly licensed professionals who possesses dignity and reputation with high moral values as well as technical and professional competence in the practice of their noble profession. They strictly adhere to, observe, and practice this set of ethical and moral principles, standards, and values. So, matatawag po nating teachers kung you are duly licensed professionals. So, ibig sabihin, matatawag ka talagang isang guro kung ikaw ay licensed, nakapasa ka ng licensure examination for teachers. And, of course, you have to possess dignity and reputation with high moral values. So, kakaiba po ang pagiging guro, dapat po high. Hindi lang moral values, but high moral values. As well as yung technical and professional competence in the practice of their noble profession. So, kailangan marunong sa ginagawa niya ang isang guro. And then, they strictly adhere, observe, and practice this set of ethical, of moral principles, standards, and values. Article 1. So, marami po tayong article. So, this is the scope and limitations. Section 1. The Philippine Constitution provides that all educational institutions shall offer education for all competent teachers, committed of its full realization. The provision of this code shall apply, therefore, to all teachers in schools in the Philippines. So, lahat ng guro sa buong Pilipinas, this is applicable to all. Section 2. This code covers all public and private school teachers in all educational institutions at the preschool, primary, elementary, and secondary levels, whether academic, vocational, special, technical, or non-formal. The term teacher shall include industrial arts or vocational teachers and all other forms performing supervisory and administrative functions in all schools at the aforesaid levels, whether on full-time or part-time basis. So, kasali sa pagiging teacher, of course, yung textbook. Marami na ngayon pumapasok, no, sa education sector. marami na rin ang nagkakagusto sa teaching profession because enticing na kasi yung sweldo. And all other teachers or persons performing supervisory and administrative functions are considered as teacher also. So, yung mga supervisors are called teachers, and also the principals are teachers, and all other positions in a division office, even the assistant schools division superintendent and the schools division superintendent are classified as teachers. Article 2. The teacher and the state. Section 1. The schools are the nurseries of the future citizens of the state. Each teacher is a trustee of the cultural and educational heritage of the nation and is under obligation to transmit to learners such heritage as well as to elevate national morality, promote national pride, cultivate love of country, instill allegiance to the Constitution, and for all duly constituted authorities, and promote obedience to the laws of the state. So, ang schools daw ay nursery of the future citizens of the state. And then yung teacher is the trustee. Sa kanya ipinagpapakatiwala lahat ng heritage ng ating bansa. So that these learners will be able to promote and cultivate love of country, promote national pride, elevate national morality, and allegiance to Constitution. So, importante talaga ang role ng isang teacher. Kasi, hindi sinabing the doctor, the engineer, sinabi talaga na ang teacher ay may pananagutan sa estado ng ating bansa. Kaya, malaki ang role ng isang teacher sa pag-shape ng isang bansa. Section 2. Every teacher or school officials shall actively help carry out the declared policies of the state and shall take an oath to this effect. Section 3. In the interest of the state and of the Filipino people as much of his own, every teacher shall be physically, mentally, and morally fit. Take note, tatlong keyword, physically, of course, dapat kaya niyang gawin ang trabaho ng isang teacher. Mentally, mahirap naman kung yung mga teachers natin ay may problema sa mental health, no? Kaya kinakailangan talaga from time to time, baka may nadidepress na teacher, so kailangan nilang ng tulong at follow-up. And pinaka-importante, morally fit. So hindi pwede yung mga hindi morally fit sa department na ito. So kung mayroon man, maaaring nakakalusot sila, pero that is against in the code of ethics of a teacher. Section 4. Every teacher shall possess and actualize a full commitment and devotion to duty. So dapat buo yung loob niya na magbigay ng service and devotion sa kanyang duty as a teacher. Section 5. A teacher shall not engage in the promotion of any political, religious, or other partisan interest, and shall not directly or indirectly solicit, require, collect, or receive any money or service from other valuable material from any person or entity for such purposes. So, hindi siya pwede may papanigan na political, hindi pwedeng papaboran na yung isang religion, or may partisan connection siya, or hindi din pwede na mag-directly or indirectly solicit in exchange of favor of those aforementioned political, religious, partisan interest. Section 6. Every teacher shall vote and shall exercise all other constitutional rights and responsibilities. So hindi pwedeng may mando sa teacher kung sinong iboboto niya, dapat siya talaga. Sa kanya yan sa sarili niya. A teacher shall not use his position or facial authority or influence to coerce any other person to follow any political course of actions. So, di niya pwedeng gamitin yung authority niya para mag-advance or magbigay ng favor sa isang political group. Section 8. Every teacher shall enjoy academic freedom and shall have privilege of expounding the product of his researches and investigations, provided that if the results are inimical to the declared policies of the state, they shall be brought to the proper authorities for appropriate remedial action. So, yung academic freedom niya and have the privilege of expounding the product of his researches and investigations. So, isa yan sa major functions ng isang guro sa state. Article 3 is the teacher and the community. Section 1. A teacher is a facilitator of learning and of the development of youth. He shall therefore render the best service by providing an environment conducive to such learning and growth. So, facilitator siya ng learning for the development of youth. Okay. So, by providing an environment na conducive to learning and growth. So, isa yan sa responsibility ng teacher. Kailangan he or she makes sure na yung environment for learning ay conducive to learning. Section 2, every teacher shall provide leadership and initiative to actively participate in community movements for moral, social, educational, economic, and civic betterment. So, mag-provide siya mag-initiate siya ng leadership para mag-participate sa movements for moral, social, educational, economic, and civic. Every teacher shall merit reasonable social recognition, for which he shall behave with honor and dignity at all times, and refrain from such activities as gambling, smoking, drunkenness, and other excesses much illicit relations. So, nakalagay talaga dyan, bawal, you should behave, and you should have dignity at all times. Tingnan mo yung keyword na at all times. And refrain, iwasan ang mga gambling, pagsusugal, pagsisigarilyo, yung drunkard and other, especially yung mga illicit relations, bawal na bawal. Section 4. Every teacher shall live for and with the community and shall therefore study and understand local customs and traditions in order to have a sympathetic attitude. Therefore, refrain from disparaging the community. So, ikaw yung strong support ng community. So, dapat maintindihan mo yung mga local customs and traditions ng isang community. And you must have that sympathetic attitude to the community instead of criticizing that certain community. Section 5. Every teacher shall help the school keep the people in the community informed about the school's work and accomplishments as well as its need and problems. So usually, it is being done through PTA and other outreach in the barangay. So, kinakailangan talaga ang teacher, ikaw yung light para maipaalam sa lahat kung ano yung mga programa ng isang paaralan. So, ikaw yung bridge from the Department of Education to the community. Ikaw yung mag-i-inform sa kanila sa mga programa ng Department of Education. Section 6. Every teacher is intellectual leader in the community, especially in the barangay, and shall welcome the opportunity to provide such leadership when needed, to extend counseling services as appropriate, and to actively be involved in matters affecting the welfare of the people. So ikaw yung tinatawag na intellectual leader, di ba? Pag teacher, pag lalong-lalo na nasa mga barangay, ikaw ang pinapaniwalaan talaga yung teacher at magbigay ng leadership and opportunity to the barangay. So pag halimbawa, as one of your social responsibility, pag nag-request ang barangay na kakailangan ang services natin, for as long as it will not interrupt your duties and responsibilities, your main duty and responsibilities as a teacher in the barangay. So, you should give services. No, yung iba, halimbawa, um, magiging consultant, sinasabi din yan, counseling services as appropriate. Basta hindi lang inappropriate transactions. So you could be a resource person, an intellectual leader, as the case may be. Sometimes you are asked to be an MC of uh, barangay activities, araw ng isang barangay, no? Sometimes you will be invited to sessions to speak about Department of Education's programs and projects. So you should not hesitate because that is found in the Code of Ethics. Section 7. Every teacher shall maintain harmonious and pleasant personal and official relations with other professionals, with government officials, and with the people individually or collectively. So mag-maintain siya ng harmonious and pleasant personal relations with the community. Hindi siya palaaway, no? So dapat lang talaga na magkaroon siya ng harmonious relationship with the community. Section 8. A teacher possesses freedom to attend church and worship as appropriate, but shall not use his position and influence to proselyte others. So that we have freedom to attend any religion or churches that we want, but and attend worship as appropriate. Pero huwag gamitin ang posisyon and influence as a teacher to proselyte others. Baka sabihin mo, o mga bata ang magsisimba sa simbahan namin, bibigyan ko ng additional points. That is a great violation of the Code of Ethics of Professional Teachers. So kailangan do not use your position and influence. Kung may sasama sa iyo, well, it's good. But make sure hindi mo nagamit yung influence mo as a teacher. Okay, I hope it is clear. Article 4. A teacher and the profession. Section 1. Every teacher shall actively ensure that teaching is the noblest profession and shall manifest genuine enthusiasm and pride in teaching as a noble calling. So, kailangan you should um, you should take note that teaching is the noblest profession and you must manifest a genuine enthusiasm. Section 2. Every teacher shall uphold the highest possible standards of quality education, shall make the best preparations for the career of teaching, and shall be at his best at all times and in the practice of his professions. So, hindi pwede ang patamad-tamad. Dapat yung highest possible standards of quality education because our children deserve the best. And you should make the best preparations of the career. So, kailangan when you are going to school every day, you must make excellent or best preparations sa iyong pagtuturo. At you must be the best at all times. Hindi pwede ang mediocrity, hindi pwede ang tama na, hindi pwede yung okay na for compliance lang. Section 3. Every teacher shall participate in the continuing professional education program of the Professional Regulation Commission and shall pursue such other studies as will improve his efficiency, enhance the prestige of the profession, and strengthen his competence, virtues, and productivity in order to be nationally and internationally competitive. So, you must participate in the continuing professional education. Para ma-improve yung efficiency mo. So you must enrich yourself as a teacher. Section 4. Every teacher shall help, if duly authorized, to seek support from the school, but shall not make improper presentations to personal advertisements and other questionable means. So yung teacher, kung inauthorize siya, pwede siyang mag-seek support from the school in order to improve from the school. However, there's a warning for improper misinterpretation. Baka gamitin mo yung school for yourself. Or baka hindi legal yung paggawa mo ng pag-seek ng support. Usually naman, ang ginagawa natin ngayon, kasi noon pa itong Code of Ethics, no, yung brigada eskwela, adapt a school. Di ba maraming mga parents nag-donate. So you can bridge yourself to the community. Section 5. Every teacher shall use the teaching profession in a manner that makes it dignified means for earning a decent living. So, dapat dignified and decent living. Article 5. The teachers and the profession. Section 1. The teacher should at all times be imbued with a spirit of professional loyalty, mutual confidence, and faith in one another, self-sacrifice for the common good, and full cooperation with colleagues when the best interest of the learners, the school, or the profession is at stake in any controversy. Teachers shall support one another. So, dapat mayroong professional loyalty, may confidence. So, kailangan pagtulungan ang bawat isa. Huwag magsiraan. Pero in reality, ito yung nangyayari ngayon. Maraming siraan ang nangyayari in every school. Kaya, it is a constant reminder for us to always read the Code of Ethics for professional teachers. Section 2, a teacher is not entitled to claim credit or work not of his own, and shall give due credit for the work of others, which he may use. Kaya nga pa, pag may ginagamit tayo, especially pag nagre-research, you have to quote your source and you have to recognize the author na pinaghirapan nila ang bagay na yan. So, wag na huwag basta mag-angkin ng work ng iba. Delikado po yan. May plagiarism tayo, di ba? So, wag na huwag mag-claim na as if ginagawa mo ang isang bagay. Pero hindi naman sa'yo. Section 3. Before leaving his position, a teacher shall organize whatever assumes the position, such as records and other data as are necessary to carry on the work. So halimbawa, pag ma-transfer or mag-retire, dapat yung mga records and other datas na naka-MR sa'yo, dapat isauli mo yan. Section 4, a teacher shall hold inviolate all confidential information concerning associates and the school, and shall not divulge to any one documents which has not been officially released, or remove records from the file without permissions. So, i-disregard na lang yung nasa baba, no? So, ngayon, mayroon tayong Data Privacy Act. You are criminally liable to that. So, huwag na huwag magdi-divulge ng any information, lalo na sa Form 137, or mayroon kang i-delete dyan, without a court order. So, hindi mo pwedeng i-release basta-basta. No? Mayroon ng iba na nakafile ng kaso because of this. So, Section 5. It shall be the responsibility of every teacher to seek correctives for what he may appear to be an unprofessional and unethical conduct of any may be done only if there is incontrovertible evidence for such conduct. So, kung ikaw correct ka, kasi may pagkakamali ka or unethical conduct, it is your responsibility to ask for corrections. Dapat teachable. ang lahat ng mga teachers. So, Section 6, nakalagay talaga yan, no? Sa Code of Ethics and Conduct. A teacher may submit to the proper authorities any justifiable criticism against an associate, preferably in writing without violating the right of the individual concerned. So kung may concern ka about your co-teacher, you should write, put in writing without violating the right of the concerned individual. Number 7, a teacher may apply for a vacant position for which he is qualified, provided that he respects the system of selection on the basis of merit and competence, provided further that all qualified are given the opportunity to be considered. So that is one of your right as a teacher to apply for any position for as long as you are qualified to the post. So, kailangan mo i-respect ang system of selection. So, halimbawa ngayon, yung ranking na tinatawag, hindi na siya tatawaging ranking. Kung hindi, comparative assessment. Kasi hindi naman ibig sabihin kung sino yung number 1 siya na makakapasok kasi may discretionary power ang appointing authority, which is the school's division superintendent, kung sino yung i-appoint niya. So, kailangan i-respect mo ng selection on the basis of merit and competence, provided you are all given the opportunity to be considered. Article 6. The teacher and higher authorities in the professions. Section 1. Every teacher shall make it his duties to make an honest effort to understand and support the legitimate policies of the school and the administration, regardless of personal feeling or private opinion, and shall faithfully carry them out. So, kailangan you should exert honest effort to understand and support the legitimate policies of the school and the administration, regardless of your feeling and private opinion. So, pag policy talaga ng organization of the department, we are obliged to make an honest effort to understand it and adapt it, even though that is against your feeling or opinion. Because we are here to work. If you are tired of your work, think of those who wish they have yours. And think also of the jobless. So, kailangan talaga, you have to carry out and understand and support the policies of this organization. Section 2. A teacher shall not make any false accusations or charges against superiors, especially under anonymity. However, if there are valid charges, he should present such as under oath to competent authority. So ito yung kadalasan na mistake ng mga teachers. Kasi naman, kung magpa-file ng complaint, hindi talaga nila alam kung paano mag-file. The letter lang yung iba. Kailangan under oath and make it notarized following the correct format. At huwag din mag-forum shopping na mag-file ka ng civil service, mag-file ka ng region, mag-file ka ng ombudsman, lahat. Filean mo, that is called forum shopping. So, kailangan kung hindi totoo, kung wala kang strong evidence against your accusation to your superiors, so huwag mong gagawin. But if you have an evidence, strong evidence, you should present it to competent authorities. They are not encouraging anonymity. Section 3. The teacher shall transact all official business through channels except when special conditions warrant a different procedure, such as when special conditions are advocated but are opposed by immediate superiors, in which case the teacher shall appeal to the appropriate higher authority. So, you should transact all official business through channels. So, protocol ang tawag dito. So, if your immediate superior does not support you, you should appeal directly to the appropriate higher, sa mas higher authority. Okay. Section 4. Every teacher, individually or as part of the group, has the right to seek redress against injustice and to the administration and to extent possible shall raise grievances when acceptable within acceptable democratic processes. In doing so, they shall avoid jeopardizing the interest and welfare of the learners, whose right to learn must be respected. So, you should have you have the right to seek redress yung sa mga injustices. Pwede kang mag-ask ng grievance basta acceptable lang yung mga processes. So, you should avoid also jeopardizing the interest and the welfare of the learners. Section 5. Every teacher has the right to invoke the principle that appointments, promotions, and transfer of teachers are made only on the basis of merit and needed in the interest of the service. So, kailangan you should understand that one. So, you have the right to invoke the principle about appointment, mga promotion, and transfer. You asked, no? You asked courteously. So, a teacher who accepts a position assume a contractual obligation to live up to his contract, assuming full knowledge of employment terms and conditions. So, kailangan, when you accept a certain position, you should assume the obligation. Kasi sa appointment at panunumpaan ng katungkulan natin, we promise that we will do our best in the interest of public service. And we must uphold at all times honesty and integrity. Okay. Article 7. School officials, teachers, and other personnel. Section 1. All school officials shall at all times show professional courtesy, helpfulness, and sympathy towards teachers and other personnel. Such practices being standards of effective school supervision, dignified administration, responsible leadership, and enlightened direction. So, lahat ng school officials shall show professional courtesy, helpfulness, and sympathy towards teachers. Huwag na huwag mong wabastusin, insultuhin. Dapat alam na alam mo yung trabaho ng mga teachers at you know how to give sympathy to them. Huwag na huwag mong sisiraan, huwag na huwag mong papagalitan sa harap ng maraming tao, huwag na huwag mong babastusin. Yan ang duty at responsibility ng isang school official. School officials, teachers, and other school personnel shall consider it their cooperative responsibility to formulate policies or introduce important changes in the system at all levels. So lahat ng school officials, lahat ng teachers, talagang corporate responsibility to formulate policies or introduce important changes in the system at all levels. So, kung ano yung kaya mong i-control, kung ano yung present position mo, kung teacher ka, within your level, you can formulate policies that are fair and just. Kung principal ka, you can formulate policies or suggest for the formulation of policies in your school. And later, you can also suggest policies to the division, regional, and national level. Section 3. School officials shall encourage and attend the professional growth of all teachers under them, such as recommending them for promotion, giving them due recognition for meritorious performance, and allowing them to participate in conferences and training programs. So, dapat it is your duty as a school official to know your people. Ano yung mga mga need nila, especially on their promotion. And you have to recognize them for a meritorious performance and allowing them to participate in training and conferences. Huwag mo itago-tago yung memorandum na hindi mo pa-attend sila. Section 4. No school officials shall dismiss or recommend for dismissal a teacher or other subordinate except for a cause. So, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, I don't like the teacher. Gusto ko siyang ma-dismiss or recommend for dismissal. So, dapat may reason ka behind it. Section 5. School authorities concerned shall ensure that public school teachers are employed in accordance with pertinent civil service rules, and private school teachers are issued contracts specifying the terms and conditions of their work, provided that they are given, if qualified, subsequent permanent tenure in accordance with existing laws. So, yung mga authorities, mga leaders ng school, should assure that public school teachers are employed with pertinent civil service laws and rules, as well as with the private teachers. Article 8. The teachers and learners. Section 1. A teacher has a right and duty to determine the academic marks and promotions of learners in the subject or grades he handles. Such determination shall be in accordance with generally accepted procedures of evaluation and measurement. In case of any complaint, teachers concerned shall immediately take appropriate actions observing due process. So yung academic freedom talaga, innate sa lahat mga teachers. Hindi mo pwedeng diktahan na huwag mong gawin to, kasi kailangan ipapasa mo si ganito o si ganyan. The teacher has the right for academic freedom. So siya ang mag-determine for as long as your records are open para ma-prove mo na hindi personalan yung exercise mo ng academic freedom. Number 2, Section 2. A teacher shall recognize that the interests and welfare of learners are of first and foremost concerns, and shall deal justifiably and impartially with each of them. So, dapat yung mga teachers, ang kanilang pag-isipan ay yung interest and welfare of learners and ilang first and foremost concerns. Section 3. Under no circumstance shall a teacher be prejudiced nor discriminated against by the learner. Okay. So, hindi pwede yung mag-discriminate. So, vice versa yan. The teacher to the learner and the learner to the teacher. Section 4. A teacher shall not accept favors or gifts from learners, their parents, or others in their behalf in exchange for requested concessions, especially if underserved. So, halimbawa, ang teacher, maghingi ng gift in exchange for favor for the learner. Hindi pwede. You should be fair and just at all times. So, hindi pwede mag-accept ng mga gifts from the learners. Take note of that. Marami ang masasagasaan yan. Kasi yung iba, nire-require nila na mag-give ng gift sa kanila din. Di ba? Nakakatawa. So, you are prohibited to accept favors or gifts from the learners. Kung may exchange of a certain favor. Lalong-lalo na kung underserved yung kalaban ng bibigyan mo ng favor. So, hindi ka na just and fair. Yan. So, Section 5. A teacher shall not accept directly or indirectly any enumeration from tutorials other what is authorized for such service. Marami akong nakita nito na guilty. After office hours, yung mga estudyante nila, tinuturuan nila. Tapos, in exchange, no? Buti sana kung private school. Pero kung public school ka, so, after 5 o'clock, magbigay ka ng mga remedial instruction, tapos, nag-a-ask ka ng bayad sa kanila. Bawal po yon. So, that is part of your service to give remedial and enhancement instruction to the learners. Dapat lahat ng yan ay walang bayad. So, you must take note of that. Section 6. A teacher shall base the evaluation of the learner's work only in merit and quality of academic performance. So, lahat ng basis ng iyong evaluation should be based on merit and quality of academic performance. Section 7. So, walang favoritism yan, ha? So, dapat you should be fair and just at all times. It should be based on merit and quality of the performance. Section 7. In a situation where mutual attraction and subsequent love develop between teacher and learner. So, hindi pwede yan. So, kailangan iwasan ng teacher. So, parang may kulang sa sentence na yan. Basta, this section says na hindi pwede magkaroon ng relasyon ang isang teacher at isang learner. That is against the Code of Ethics. So, kung talagang hindi mapigilan, it's either you will resign as a teacher para makontinue yung relationship ninyo. Or else, hintayin mo muna na hindi mo na maging estudyante and most of all, hindi na maging minor yung estudyante na gusto mo. So, hintayin mo mag-mature. Hindi na minor, no? Kasi you will be charged against child protection policy. So, maaari mong ikakulong yan pag ang teacher nakipagrelasyon sa kanyang estudyante. So, lalong-lalo na pag underage. So, you will have a bigger liability. So, dapat yung teacher, alam na yan. So, kung hindi talaga mapigilan, hintayin mo, maghintay ng panahon na hindi mo na siya maging estudyante at most of all, yung age ay pwede na. Section 8. A teacher shall not inflict corporal punishment on offending learners, nor make deduction from their scholarship ratings as a punishment for acts which are not clearly manifestation of poor scholarship. So, yung teacher ng iba, may corporal punishment. Pinapalo, pinipingot yung tainga, no? Lahat-lahat. So, anything na makapasakit or anything na magbibigay ng harm sa isang learners, sa isang learner or group of learners, bawal na bawal po yon. You could be charged, no, of corporal punishment under this section. And may naalala ko noon, no, isang head teacher, pinalo niya lahat yung mga niya, sa isang division ito, no, yung mga learners niya kasi daw mainit yung ulo niya. So ayun, nagsumbong yung mga parents at nagdelikado yung teacher. Buti na lang, naawa din yung mga parents, hindi tinuloy yung kaso sa kanya. Yung delikado talaga yon, maaaring mong kawalan ng trabaho yan pag ginagawa mo yung corporal punishment. And then, kung sasabihin mo rin, dahil nakabiolate kayo sa rules ng ating paaralan, maminusan po ng 5 yung grades ninyo or final grade. So, hindi po pwede yon. Kasi hindi naman yung manifestation of a poor performance in academic. So, maaaring nagkamali sila, pero hindi sa paraan na babawasan natin ang kanilang grades. Isa pong malaking violation yan. A teacher shall ensure that conditions contribute to the maximum development of learners are adequate and shall extend needed assistance in preventing or solving learners' problems and difficulties. So, dapat yung maximum development of learners ang yung focus and shall extend technical assistance. Mag-extend ka ng help sa mga learners, especially on their problems and difficulties. So, Dito papasok ang remedial instruction. Article 9. The teacher and the parents. Section 1. Every teacher shall establish and maintain cordial relations with parents and shall conduct himself to merit their confidence and respect. So establish and maintain good relationship with parents. Section 2. Every teacher shall inform parents through proper authorities of the progress and deficiencies of learners under him, exercising utmost candor and tact in pointing out learners' deficiencies and in seeking parents' cooperations for the proper guidance and improvement of the learners. So, hindi, no, magpapatawag ka ng PTA meeting, puro contribution ang ginagawa mo. Hindi pwede. Dapat one of the agenda in the PTA meeting is to give updates to the parents on the performance of their children. At kung may warning na nagagawin na, halimbawa yung anak nila ay not doing well at siguradong mababagsak, bigyan ng warning on the 5th week. No? Nasa DepEd order po yan. Huwag mong gawin na malapit na yung graduation, saka mo pa sasabihin ang mga deficiencies ng mga learners. Makakatulong kasi yung parents kasi that is their primary responsibility kasi anak nila yan eh. So dapat talagang sabihin mo sa kanila kung anong dapat nilang gawin sa mga anak nila. So you should follow up and you should update the parents kasi first and foremost, talagang it is the primary responsibility of the parents to their children. Section 3. A teacher shall hear parents' complaints with sympathy and understanding and shall discourage unfair criticism. So kung may complain ang isang parents, dapat you should have that sympathy and understanding instead of unfair criticism. So you must try to resolve that concern. Ano yung mga basis, bakit sila nagrereklamo? So kailangan mong i-address yan kasi napakahirap pag hindi mo na-address yan. Pwedeng ipaabot yan sa iba't ibang agencies or to higher authorities kasi hindi mo sila pinakinggan. So, kailangan talaga pakinggan. No? Okay. Article 10. The teacher and business. O ito, marami ang masasagasaan ito. Section 1. A teacher has the right to engage directly or indirectly in legitimate income generation, provided that it does not relate to or adversely affect his work as a teacher. Marami nito during office hours, nagpo-post ng mga negosyo. So, nasaan na ba yung ninyo? Main job. Bakit yung sideline nagiging main job na? So, dapat during office hours, you are not supposed to use that office hours to promote your business. Pwede ka namang mag-business basta hindi maka-apekto sa trabaho mo. So, first and foremost, your job is of utmost importance. So, you should do it properly. Section 2. A teacher shall maintain a good reputation with respect to financial matters, such as settlement of his debts and loans in arranging satisfactorily his private financial affairs. So, nasa Code of Ethics na dapat isettle yung mga utang. Huwag basta utang ng utang at hindi na mabayaran, sisibatan na, nawawala na si teacher. Bigla na lang naglalaho, parang may magic. Pag nandyan na si Judith at Juna, no? So, due date at si Juna. Section 3. No teacher shall act directly or indirectly as an agent of financially interested in any commercial venture which purchase textbooks and other school commodities in the purchase and disposal of which he can exercise official influence, except only his assignment is inherently related to such purchase and disposal, provided they shall be in accordance with the existing regulations provided further that members of duly recognized teachers' cooperatives may participate in the distribution and sale of such commodities. So, hindi ka pwedeng mag-promote, sa iyo bibili yung DepEd o yung mga estudyante mo ng mga textbooks or other school commodities. Except na lang kung trabaho mo na nasa supply office ka, yun talaga ang magtrabaho mo na magbili ng ganyan. So, pero hindi mo ibenta para lang sa paaralan ninyo. So, hindi pwede kang maging agent, no? Halimbawa, nasa ano ka, paaralan, nag-i-agent ka, nasa bibili sa iyo ng textbook or other commodities, school commodities. So, bawal talaga. I'm warning, no? Yung mga officials and teachers na nagiging agent. Mayroong bago ngayon, no? Yung mga mag-register ka, no? Team Payaman Ahon Loan Program. May ano dyan si Secretary Biones na bawal yan. Kasi you are criminally liable, especially if they're not registered in the SEC to collect. Article 11. The teacher as a person. Section 1. A teacher is above all a human being endowed with life, for which it is the highest obligation to live with dignity at all times, whether in school, in the home, or elsewhere. So, you have the highest obligation to live with dignity at all times. Section 2. A teacher shall place premium upon self-discipline as the primary principle of personal behavior in all relationship with others and in all situations. Section 3. A teacher shall maintain at all times a dignified personality which could serve as a model worthy of emulation by learners, peers, and others. So you are a model in the community worthy of emulation. Hindi yung bad example ka sa community. A teacher shall always recognize the Almighty God as the guide of his own destiny and the destinies of men and nations. So, included yung spirituality ng teacher. So, dapat i-recognize niya kung sino man yung God niya, si Allah ba, Allah o iba, sa Christian. So, dapat he should have that recognition of God as his own destiny. Article 12, Disciplinary Actions. Any violations of any provisions of this code shall be sufficient ground for the imposition of the erring teacher of the disciplinary action consisting of revocation of his certification of registration and license as professional teacher, suspension from the practice of teaching profession, reprimand or cancellation of his a temporary special permit under causes specified in Section 23, Article 3 or RA 7836, and under Rule 31, Article 8 of the Rules and Regulations implementing RA 7836. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig. I hope that you have learned something from this. This is a reminder, as a review and a reminder to all of us kasi as I have said, marami ang violators sa panahon ngayon. Maraming nag-engage in business during office hours. Maraming nagbibigay, nagre-recruit na kahit hindi registered sa SEC. Marami ang nagkakaroon ng mga illicit affairs kahit bawal, kahit may husband or wife, no? Bawal yan as a teacher. Hindi pwede as a teacher. Yung morality natin. And most of all, yung mga bata ang ating utmost concern, lalong-lalo na ngayon sa panahon ng pandemic. So sila yung dapat nasa center ng ating attention. Thank you very much for watching. I hope and I pray that you will all have the ability to pass the principal's test. Maraming salamat at mapagpalang araw sa inyong lahat.